Hi, guys. Happy Friday again. I'm so glad to be back. I certainly missed you guys last Friday, but I'm glad that you all are here now listening and joining in. It's another Refer Her Friday. And of course, I'm your host, Briana Echols with Take Control Credit. As always, please, if you have any dope female entrepreneurs, tag your favorite, tag the one that's closest to you. Definitely put at her below, put her website below. We definitely want to build this network and excuse me, uplift and support her in any way possible. So definitely in the comment sections, along with any questions that you might have for me, tag your favorite female entrepreneur so we can definitely lift her up and support her. Excuse me. As always, I like to, come with some credit tips, some credit facts, and even bust a couple myths if I have the time. So this Friday is no different. We're entering into the walk the talk. Excuse me. So I definitely want to empower you guys and give you guys the tools that you need to be able to walk the credit talk, to be able to stand up and use your credit as a way to launch yourself forward in life, as so many other people are able to do. So with this little tidbit of information for this week, I definitely want to talk about something that I do get a lot of questions about, that there are a lot of misconceptions. And this is about removing collection accounts and what that means for you as far as if you still owe the debt or not. So many people will post things and post memes or make comments that allude to the fact that, like, hey, I can erase your student loans, or I can erase medical collections. And so people hear that, and without the context, they're thinking, hey, all of this medical debt that I have, if you get it taken off, now I'm good. That is not necessarily the truth. Yes, we can maybe, as a credit repair specialist myself, I can maybe help you remove things off of your credit report so that that's not a factor in your credit score. And a lot of times, if you have collection accounts and you get them removed out of your credit report, that can boost your score up to where you can qualify for products that you might not have qualified for with them reporting. But what that doesn't mean is that now that collection account, you're just absolved for it. Like, it's not a thing for you. Even getting some removals, although it may help your score, you could even still potentially be sued for those things. So a company might not have or might not respond in time to a request, so they have to remove it according to the law. But they could still say, okay, well, I can show you, and go and file a judgment against you and still potentially win the judgment, especially if you don't show up. But even if you do show up, they still might be able to gather the information that they need to win that judgment, and then you're legally, your wages could be garnished. Um, Even outside of the statute of limitations. So let's say it's a debt that's, you know, 6 years old, and in that particular state, that means that they are no longer able to actually sue you for that debt in court. And when, if you were to challenge the statute of limitations, but let's say it's AT&T and we've gotten it removed, they can't sue you. You could still go to get services with AT&T and them tell you that we're not going to give these services until you settle this debt. So the only true way that you can be done with the debt is if you were to pay the debt either in full or settle. Or, of course, if you were to maybe go through some sort of bankruptcy, that could, in some ways, kind of discharge a debt, or, you're settling in some capacity to where it's no longer a factor because it's going through bankruptcy. But actually handling the debt itself is the only way to just be able to say, I no longer owe you, or I am done with this situation. Um, and similarly, you could settle a debt and it still affect your credit score. Those two, you actually owing the debt and it reporting on your credit report are two different things. It could not report on your credit and you still owe it, but you could pay it off and it still report on your credit. And that's why it's important that when you are finally taking control and trying to walk the credit talk, that you try to take a holistic approach to handling these situations. Now, there are some times where I'll explain to people, like, in North Carolina, the statute of limitations to be able to sue for most types of debts is 3 years. So if it's outside 3 years and I get it removed, I'll explain to them, hey, I've gotten this removed. They can't sue you for it. But one, if you make a payment on it, that could reset the statute of limitations. So be careful about that, because sometimes collectors will come back and attempt to get people caught up with resetting the statute of limitations via payment. Or I'll tell them like, hey, you just can't have AT&T in your name. They'll probably still in some capacity know when they look up your social, your info in the system, that you have this outstanding debt, and that might be a prerequisite that you satisfy that before they open services. So I kind of try to explain that whole process to clients, because they think that the two processes are so intertwined, that if something's not on my report, that means I don't owe. And if it's not on my report, I mean, if something's on my report, that means, that I owe it, but then once it's gone, then I don't. So just be very mindful of that when it's dealing with collection accounts, or any account for that matter, especially medical. We can get medical, we can get student loans removed all day, but your responsibility to satisfy that, they could still kind of hold you to it. Now, again, with the statute of limitations, can they hold it to you in a court of law? There might be ways to finagle out of that depending on how old the debt is, but for the most part, they can still hold it to you personally, within their own business, if they see fit and you don't satisfy it with them. So that's the little tidbit of information that I have for you guys today. As always, if you guys have any questions, please put them below. I can further expand on anything that I talked about today that you weren't quite clear on. Also, if there's something specific that you feel like I should address and that might help you personally, definitely put that below. I want these to be tailored to what the audience wants to see. And I also want to make sure that I'm helping as many people as possible. So any future recommendations on topics, definitely put below. And if you really want to walk the talk and you're not ready to officially sign up with a company that does the process for you, I do offer a do-it-yourself course. This is a great way to not only learn how to repair your own credit, but sometimes people just want to get the additional information so that they are empowered with those tools going forward. I can help you. I'll help you in just a moment. Sorry, mom life. But that course can be purchased at takecontrolcredit.thinkific.com, and I'll definitely post that in the chat below. And of course, if you decide you want to sign up for the service and you want to move forward with having a company actually help you with the process start to finish, you can definitely sign up for that at my website, www.takecontrolcredit.com. As always, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Again, tag your favorite female entrepreneur below. We'd love to expand this network and really uplift and build her. So tag that below. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Thank you.